was telling us, you came all the way from Malaysia? From Turkey? For the program. I have cousins, friends that flew in from UK to be here for this program. Like one of them, Shola. Shola, can you stand up? Let them see you. I didn't say come and talk. I said stand up. I haven't seen her in 32 years. And when she heard that I was having this program, she got a ticket to come. Yeah. Tunde also flew in from UK. Where's Tunde? Jide, the next speaker, flew in from UK for 10 minutes talk. So we didn't put this program together to get any financial gain from anybody. If you listen to the speakers very well, you will observe that they've gone through different trends of Christianity in this country. As early as 93, 94, 95, 96, some of them were already pastoring. And I'm not saying pastoring 12 people. Some of them have congregation of over 300, 400, as early as, some people in this room probably were not even born then, but so, and we've seen a lot of ways that different things, we've seen the manipulation with microphone. We've seen the way minds were manipulated using the microphone. We've seen minds bullied with the microphone. So when I hold the microphone to talk, I hold it to talk to set people free in their mind, to make them unstoppable. A couple relocated to the US, their family. So when they came, you can sit. When they came, myself and my wife helped them to settle in. We helped them to secure a job. And when they got their first salary, they came to me with the envelope that they want to use it to thank God and also to sow for opportunities. I looked at them. I knew Nigeria was worrying them. I said, you think that if you don't give God something, then something bad might happen. Maybe police will catch you on the way, or something. They said, it's like we want to settle God. You know the way you settle Agbero. I said, this God knows that you need this money for diaper for your children. You need to save it to get a car for accommodation. He knows. Why you take your money? They said, I said, no, I'm not angry. It's not about me. Take the money and go and spend it. Then come back in 1 month's time and let me know if anything evil happened to you. They took it and went to spend it. By 1 or 2 months' time, they got better jobs, promoted on their job. Now they have their own house, have everything. They are now understanding what I was telling them. When we give to God, we are not giving to God because so that he can give us something. We're giving to him because we love him. When we subsidize everything, even though our president said that subsidy has been removed, so you are probably going to pay the difference on that food. We have removed subsidy. So when we did all that subsidizing of the food and of the hall, it was not because we wanted something, a financial gain. No offering bag is going around here. I believe that we have come to a point where empower people and get them strong. In the US, I am sure I have trained maybe over 500 people to secure jobs in corporate America. Some of them make as high as $75 per hour. You know what that means? Every hour, $75. I trained them. Some of them have 2 houses. They make as much as maybe $300,000, $350,000 a year. I trained them to become strong. And they are not a competition to me. This life, you are living your life, I'm living my life. If you make $350,000 and I make $100,000, I'm happy with my 100. I don't look at what you are making. I don't even wish it was me. If I want it, I know how to get it. So you get to a point where neighbor buys a new car, you are genuinely happy for that somebody is getting something new. I used to feel like it's that me, I'm going down since I am not getting something new like that person. But that is the wrong way. Because we are too consumed with ourselves. When someone is even announcing happy news, immediately you're already thinking about yourself. Everything is about you. Everything is about you. And soon people sense it. So they stop sharing their good news with you. Because they see that the good makes you. So they keep quiet around you. Not competition. We can all be happy with the little that we have. Sometimes we have money, sometimes we don't have money. There are times when I don't even have $100 in my account. They're like, nah lie. Not true. Ask my wife, she knows. I don't have it. So somebody might be even buzzing me that they need 20K. I'm like, I know get it. I beg. And I'm not ashamed to say I don't have. Because if I don't have it, I don't have it. Free yourself, release yourself. Don't put yourself under the bondage of always wanting to answer everybody's prayer. I have discovered that I'm not God. So as you are typing the message, is this thing working? As I type in the message, making the request, me too, I'm not, it's quickly that I will also reply you that I don't have it too. It's quickly I will reply you. If I have it, I will also reply that, okay, I'll work on it. But if I don't have it, I don't have it. And I'm not trying to pose to you. You don't mean, free yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Free yourself of the burden, carrying everybody's burden. You are not the US president. Even family burden. Oh, if I don't do it, who will do it? If I don't do it, who will do it? That's how your mind has been deceiving you. And you're going to age very fast because you are putting too much on yourself. I enjoy to free my mind. In fact, the way my mind is, I don't think it's a battery. If I'm owing you money, if you don't remind me, I will not remember. Walai. I'm not thinking about it. You remind me. My wife knows. I gave you $400 that time. You didn't remind me. She means you will give me on Friday. Then on Thursday, I'm not thinking. I'm not. Honestly, I'm not. Because I try to avoid things that will make me think. High blood pressure. Anything that will make me think, or make me sad. Just be happy. Play nice song. Just happy. Jide, over to you. Please give Jide a big, big hand. All the way from United Kingdom.
Hi everyone. Don't pay attention to him. I just came from Ikeja GRA there, so let's not start hyping ourselves. How's everyone? Good. So usually talks like this, I do it on Zoom call, virtual, Teams, Skype. So it's been a long time I actually stood and spoken to people face to face. So in case if I mess up, don't be alarmed. I'm just getting used to it. Right? Awesome. Okay. So through confession, when Precious came in, when he started this and he asked me to speak, the first question I asked him was, what is the demography? Who are the people we're speaking to? What's the issue? And he explained, and I was like, but this is not the usual conversation I have. And the Spirit said to me that, look, you have a story to tell also. Forget about all those hype. You have a story. And I said, okay, I will sit down and I will talk about it. I would not, I won't quote Bible verses for you. I don't know anything about the Bible like that. If you want a Bible verse, you can read Psalm 91 or Psalm 23. That's what I read anyway. So yeah. Okay, so not too old conference. When we started, I was sitting at the back and I was taking notes of people's expectations. And I put everything in 5 buckets. So I'll read it out. So you have clarity in life, you have stock in life, you have new direction, you have structure in life, and networking opportunities. Which is, I think that covers everything we want to achieve here. So what I would say is I would run my talk for 9 minutes and I would give room for 2 questions. 2 randomly selected questions. Fair enough? Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's start. I will tell you about my own transition plan. If there's anybody that has transitioned in this part in life, I think I'm one of those corporates. I've transitioned behavioral, I've transitioned mindset, I've transitioned jobs, I've transitioned location. So I will start with education. I'm an accountant by training. I have 3 professional qualifications, accountancy, but I don't do accountancy and finance anymore. I do projects, I manage projects. But before then, I started out as a medical student in the university. Not many people know this. My first I think some of my family members would know. But my first semesters in university was actually as a medical student. Yes, because my sister was a medical student. She was a medical doctor. I always wanted to compete with her. I wasn't smart enough, but I had a giddy. So I went in and I sat there and they were telling me biology, telling me this, telling me that. And I was like, you know what? I cannot do this. So after one semester, I transitioned to accounting. People don't know a lot. People don't know that, but I like to say it. And I started as an accountant. I was studying. I went to a university called Ogun State University. That was the school then. And I see you, exactly. That was the school. And you had it was divided into 3 buckets. Either church, either academics, and the others. And unfortunately, I found myself in the others. I think I was one of the most irresponsible students that ever wrote JAM. You know, it was so bad that when it was time to pay school fees, my mom would give the money to Damola there, who I didn't like. I would say it. He would give the money to them. They would take me to the bursary and pay. Then I would go back and warn him that what is wrong with you. That went on for about 3.5 years. We were cousins, but we were not friends because he was a churchman. Me, I was the other side. So, but when I got to 400 level, I was able to sit down and say, look, what exactly do you want? What are you taking out of this? To me, that was the first transition in my life. The second transition, or the third transition, was when I was moving from Nigeria to Ikeja GRA for the purpose of this conversation. And, you know, usually when you go to the abroad, no matter what you've been here, there's that discounted factor that comes in. If you're a white-collar guy, you'll be a white-collar. You might not be on the same level. If you're maybe other parts, you know. So there's that transition plan that people don't tell you about. So I got there. My first shock was my CVs and my qualifications didn't matter. That was the first part. In fact, for the first couple of months, I didn't drive Uber. I know many people have shouted Uber. I was a doorman. So a doorman in the club is, because of your stature, the guy who stands at the club. And you wear your badge, people come in, okay, you open the door, you close the door. I was enjoying it, to be honest. Sorry, is this working? But that was where I was coming from, because before I left, I had already worked in one of the big 4 consulting. But I did it for over a year and a half. And I did it. And I was able to transition out of it into the type of job I was doing in Nigeria, which was accounting. I mean, you all think that's the end. Sweet story, right? Yes, but that's not the end. I wasn't happy as an accountant. I was good at it. I was very good at it. And I'm saying this with all humility. I have 3 professional accounting qualifications. I have ICANN, for those of you in that space. I have IWCA. I have ACCA. You know, so I was good at it, but I wasn't enjoying it. And, you know, you wake up in the morning to a job you don't like. You wake up to a morning to a job you know, this is not what I want to do. Eventually, I was able to transition from accountancy to projects, delivery, and that space. So if I tell you about transition, I think I know what I'm talking about. One thing that is very key is taking away anything here. Take away this. Your age has nothing to do with whatever you want to do. Your age is so painful that this part of the world, we talk about age so much that you make it look like once you are 40, a fool at 40 is a fool forever. Once you are 50, you cannot do anything anymore. Once you are 60, you can't do anything anymore. When I was trying to prepare for this morning, I did a quick Google search. And I couldn't find any Nigerian that had done something. I'm not saying we don't have them, we have them, but not celebrated. I couldn't find any Nigerian or African that had done something at his old age. Most people start from when they are young, they build a trajectory, and tell you their success story and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, are you saying as an African, the moment you cross an age boundary, you are stuck in that space. You cannot, so if you are successful at 39, 40, then, or if you're not successful at 39, 40, 50, then you cannot become successful. If you've been an engineer at 39, 40, 50, then you cannot switch and become a medical doctor. I couldn't see that. But of course, when you search old people that achieved something in their old age, then you see the popular one, the KFC guy. That's everybody knows that's the popular one. The guy started at 67 or so, and KFC, we have one there in ShopRite, So what I'm trying to say is you need to forget everything the system has told you about age. You just need to forget it. I do it. Pretend you just came to the world. Because the moment you put age at the back of your mind, then you cannot do anything. Age will tell you, oh, you're not healthy enough. Age will tell you, oh, how can I be competing with these small children? Age will tell you, oh, I'm 64, I have 4 kids, I have 3 kids. I've spent the better part of my life. I need to be resting now. If you have that mindset, then you don't want it. Yeah? So what I did quickly, I said, you know what, I will give you a roadmap, a transition plan. So let me tell you how I did how I've done my own transitioning. And you might want to apply it. The first thing is, you need to be intentional with what you want to do. Forget about the intentionality, the being intentional you hear about. You need to be intentional. What is being intentional? What do you want to achieve? Where are you in your current state? What is your focus level? Focus means you follow one course until you succeed. It's not following what happens on Instagram or because somebody does something, you have to do it. You need to follow it through. What happens to most of us, myself inclusive, is we do not have the ability to follow through stuff. And that's what most of the time differentiates us from our friends at the other side of the ocean. Because once they jump on a hook, thank you. So once they jump on a hook, they pick it up and they roll with it. So what did I say? Focus. You need to follow one course until you succeed. The second part is you need a transition roadmap. Very important, a transition roadmap. If you want to make any change, you need to have a roadmap. If you walk into my house, so I have one small corner I use, I have a roadmap. Somebody taught me about it too. I have a roadmap. And that roadmap, it's a 4-year plan roadmap, that this is where I want to be in 4 years. These are the actions, exactly, vision, your goals. These are the actions. So that when you wake up every morning, you are looking at that roadmap. Because the human brain is like a computer. You can hack it. What you visualize, what you see every day becomes part of you. So you need to go, write it on your wall. Or what do you have on your phone app? Forget about playing Donkey or Hacking and Popo. You have a lot of tools. Put an app on your phone where you can track your roadmap. You can track your progress. With that roadmap also, what I do is, at the end of every month, some people do 2 weeks, but at the end of every month, you need to track your progress. You need to track where you are. Very important. Because these things would help your brain. It would help you, and you hold yourself accountable. Then you need a mentor, not a pastor. You need a mentor. Again, mentorship is not... is very alien to this part of the world. Most times when we have issues, it's either our parents, our friends, or our pastors. But what a mentor gives you is objectivity. A mentor is the person who will tell you, look, you are not holding yourself accountable, you are messing up. I have mentors that have kicked me out of the program because I wasn't holding up to my side of the bargain. So a mentor would hold you. It could be a business mentor, career mentor, depending on what you want to transition to. when I wanted to transition from finance to project management, the guy I did not like before, the pastor Dami there, I hated him. I didn't like him. That's the truth. I had to move closer to him because that's what he was doing. And he's still mentoring me. In fact, we're still having a conversation. He was telling me, okay, this is how you go about it. Because a mentor most likely has gone through that journey. It just saves you the stress. So you need a mentor. And of course, you need to network. You can't take that away. Network. You just have to network on wherever it is. You need to network. Anywhere you find yourself, you just have to network. Because people have ideas. People have they have solutions. But if you don't ask them, they won't tell you. You just need to keep networking and jump off that high horse and tell people about what your problem is or your line of action. Yeah? Sorry, I don't have Bible verse. So, but in case if you want to read Bible verse, meet Femi over there. He had a lot, and maybe Precious. So let's question. I think I've got 2 more minutes. So we can have one question. Go for it.
Thank you very much. That was an insightful pep talk that you just shared with us. So I just wanted to ask, how do you navigate recurring patterns or trends in your life? And like you said, as Christian, you've prayed, and you try to be very careful next time those things doesn't happen, and suddenly you just find yourself in that same circle. So how do you navigate that ordeal? Thank you.
I will say mine, then I will hand over the mic to Miss Bouquet. Yeah. Okay, so it's very easy. What is that recurring pattern? Who do you interact with? What circle of friends are you? Who talks to you? Who feeds into you? What do you feed into your mind? I can say to you that 90% of the time that you find yourself in a limbo state is because of what you feed into your head. Somebody said change your friends. I mean, that's drastic, but that is very important. Some people say change your environment. That's why you see somebody who get up in the morning, pack his bag and move to Canada. It's not that he's mad or, he just wants a change of environment. He needs a new start. So you need to ask yourself, what am I doing that I have not changed? Because there's a saying, I can't remember where I picked it up, maybe my dad or somebody. But he would say, look, if you want your tomorrow to be different from today, you need to do something different. Simple. If you want your tomorrow to be different from today, you need to do something different. We can talk about that maybe, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I have one more question. Okay, maybe what we'll do is after this, we can have questions and yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. Now we have Miss Buki Rashideko. Please give her a round of applause.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Since this is one of the last sessions before lunch, we'll make it quick. I'm going to be talking about saving. A recent study from 2021 showed that Nigerians, we have an average of less than 34% of Nigerians that actually have savings of any kind, because there's basically a lack of incentives in our environment for savings. I mean, from low income, instability in the banking sector, orientation, our mindset, not trusting the system. There's so many reasons why we don't save. But what does it mean to save, really? Savings basically is, in simplest terms, is reducing your expenses and setting aside some money for the future. There is no savings without budgeting, because if you don't have a budget, you don't even know where to start to reduce expenses. And I know that budgeting could be a very foreign term to a lot of us, but as we work on planning for the future, one of the things that I want to incorporate is the budgeting. It's pretty basic. It's basically a list of your expenses and a list of your income. So if you're a salaried person, you know where your income is coming from, right? If you have side hustle, whatever, and then list of expenses. Now, what the budget would do for you is at least let you see, where am I now, to start with. And when you want to start budgeting, savings, don't be afraid to start small, but start. And then what does the Bible say? Why do I reference the Bible? For me, the Bible is inspired by God. I feel that there are a lot of truths in there, and I'm Yoruba, there's a lot of proverbs, that you can find the roots of it in the Bible. So I'm going to be giving us some scriptures as references as well. There's great practical advice in the Bible with regards to savings. Planning for the future. If we remember the story in the book of Genesis of Joseph, Pharaoh had a dream when Joseph was in prison. And the summary of it is, the dream was interpreted to be that there was going to be 7 years of plenty in Egypt, and then there was going to be 7 years of famine. What did Joseph do? In the 7 years of plenty, they saved, so that when the famine came, they had food to eat. Not just that, other nations that didn't have the foresight or didn't have a Joseph to help them save came to Egypt with money to buy food, grain from the Egyptians. So savings is a way of planning for the future. It's just a concept, meaning don't spend all. No matter how much money comes in, it's never enough anyway. The idea is whatever comes in, put something aside. Some scriptures you can look at: Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 to 6. The story of Joseph I just spoke about is in Genesis 41. Proverbs 6 to 8. It says, "Go to the ant, O sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. Without having any chief, officer, or ruler, she prepares her bread in summer and gathers her food in harvest. Every prudent man acts with knowledge, but a fool flaunts his folly." Proverbs 13:16. "Prepare your work outside. Get everything ready for yourself in the field, and after that, build your house." Proverbs 24:27. Again, just talking about planning for the future, planning towards a goal. You want to build a house, you want to buy a property, you want to invest. Whatever the case is, you start with a consistent approach of saving. Luke 14:28. "For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it?" Again, budgeting, right? List of expenses, list of income. The second thing is being diligent. There is no savings without diligence. It's not something you do, it doesn't happen by accident. Saving for the future doesn't happen by accident. It is a deliberate effort that you have to be diligent in doing it. So basically, you need to cut your expenses. That's the bottom line. For some of us, the point is we just don't make enough money, is what it is. Or maybe you don't even make any money right now. For some of us, it's just that we spend too much money. Whatever the case is, you need to identify where you're at and then how to move forward from there. One of the scriptures to look at, Proverbs 21:5. "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." After diligence comes consistency. Some of the speakers that spoke already talked about consistency. What that means is anything that you want to do or plan to do with respect to, building your finances, saving, planning for the future, there has to be a consistency. It's not a one-off. So consistency, which means that you want to stick to it, and then fight the pressure of making big changes all at once. Let me give an example. Say you're a paycheck, you get your paycheck on a monthly basis, right? And you're looking at, oh, I eat out every day when I go to work. Okay, let me start by maybe preparing food at home. And then you say, okay, instead of, I won't eat out at all for the 5 days of the week, I will make sure I cook and take that. That might be a big burden for some of us, right? So instead of taking something, making a drastic change, you might say, okay, I can cook on the weekend to last me for 2 days. So maybe Monday and Tuesday, I take food from home. Then the remaining 3 days, I buy food at work. So you're gradually easing into the process. And that's just one example. Another example could be ride sharing. Instead of always, driving to work, you ride share with somebody else and you all split the bill. Just little changes that lead you towards that goal of savings. A scripture reference, 1 Corinthians 16:2. On the first day of every week, each of you is to put something aside and store it up as he may prosper, so that there will be no collecting when I come. The background was Paul wanted them to save for God's people that were in need. And so he was saying that start the collection now. Every week bring something as you have, so that you're not waiting until when I come and then you're trying to rush to get it done. One other principle is recent studies shows that a lot of people across the world live from paycheck to paycheck, which means that if there is an emergency that occurs between paychecks, you can't handle that emergency because you have trained yourself to spend all and then wait for the next one and spend all. So one of the ways to change that narrative is to save from paycheck to paycheck. So instead of saying if you're paid bi-weekly or you're a business person and you make money every day, from the money you're making every day, put something aside. Have a target for yourself. Again, it's important to just start. So you can start small, but be consistent about it. If you're someone that gets paid monthly, as soon as the paycheck comes, take the savings out. The truth of the matter is money is never enough. However, if you make it that goal to put something aside, you'll be shocked in a year's time what you will have. At least you won't be on zero. And then one other thing I wanted to talk about is religion plays an important role in our lives in this country and in Africa in general. And there's this concept of sowing seed. In other words, giving towards the man of God, the ministry, and whatnot. And sometimes we forget the things that we went to school to learn, the things that we have picked up over the years when we get to church. And plus the seed, plus the harvest, we want to sow it as seed because we think that when we give that to God, it frees us and puts the work on God to help us make that money or accomplish that goal that we want to get. That's not how it works. When the Bible talks about Isaac sowing seed and reaping a 60-fold, 100-fold, he didn't give to a prophet. He sowed seed in the ground and reaped a harvest. He was a businessman. Abraham was a businessman. The Bible talked about him giving tithes to Melchizedek, but he was a businessman. And these people knew not to give the seed and the harvest to a prophet because that is not how it works. We don't see that principle in the Bible. And what that means is if you have a target, I'm not saying don't give in church, but I'm saying have a goal. If you've decided that you're saving X amount of money, it is not when they say they want to build something, then you go and remove all that savings and give it to them and waiting for 100-fold. That is not how it works. So if you have, the same way you have a target for savings, you can have a target for, okay, this is the amount that I give to church. There's something that we do, right? Because people are always in need. There's always a need. We have a target. If this is the amount I'm giving out this month, once I hit that threshold, the next person that calls, sorry, I cannot help you, you wait for the next 3 months. Because I am not God. It is just that simple. It is the same with whatever organization you might be a part of. You are not God. God has not called you to solve all of the problems. Just be a part of it. So what I'm saying basically is as you start this concept, it might be new to some of us. So some of us are already doing it. We just need to fine tune it and be consistent in it. There's going to be different pressure that's going to come to where you want to go take that money. But ask yourself a question. If you hadn't started saving and this issue came, where will you be? You'll be nowhere. So and you start saving $500 every week, $5,000 a month. At the end of the year, you have X amount of money in savings that you would not have had before. and you're saving towards a goal. It could be towards investing, it could be towards buying property, it could be whatever, but you're just training yourself to have something extra and to not just spend all that comes to you. So key things to note here is 1, budgeting. Secondly, diligence, being deliberate about it. Consistency. And hopefully as we all, apply these concepts, we'll start to see the changes and the effects. Thank you very much. God bless you.
I'm sure everybody's hungry now. You have started imagining that buffet. There's one person that will speak after the lunch. And the reason why I want us to hear from him, my wife talked about saving. I felt that was a very important topic because many things collect our money here. They use different emotional strategy to collect the money that is meant for a project. And the reason why I picked her to talk about that is my wife can compartmentalize money. So what I mean is, if this money is for foodstuff for the month of August, and this one here is for maybe car payments for 6 months' time. Let me just use that example. And I say, maybe the car payment is still 6 months' time. Can we not use this one for? Like, no, it's allocated. It's allocated. Who allocated it? Because that is how we grew up. We just mix everything together. We will balance it, It never balanced. I would have loved her to give you more practical example. Because all those scriptures she's reading to you, you know it. Something collects that money. Sometimes family people, they already know you. They know your weak points. They know you are a kind person. But it gets to a time where you have to step back. You are not everybody's Jesus. Save yourself first. Then you can save people. It is not easy. Have you observed that? So I used to have this boss. If I say that I'm in serious need of maybe 100,000 naira, she will never say, take 100,000 naira. No. She'll be like, okay, they are cleaning all the building A, building C, building G. Supervise the cleaners, make sure they finish by this time. Your money for that project is 100,000. That money will be tied to a project. Rich people don't know how to give money for nothing. That is why you find out that you have many uncles that find it difficult to help. Because what you bring is help. You're not bringing, oh, I can clean. I have a cleaning company. Then he will say, take over this building every month. How much would you be collecting for the cleaning? Maybe twice with your staff. That money, they can put it in their financial statements for cleaning. What should they name the one that they dash you? Benevolence to you. You are not a church. You are not a widow. You are not an orphanage. It's difficult fitting you into their account statement. It messes up their record and it makes them look like they are throwing money away. They cannot record it. Ask for a service or present a service. Then you will get money from them easily, consistently. A lot of the little things that we learned here, I'm sure you know most of it. But I only talked about it to remind you and to make you realize that it works. And there are advice that I work on, that I use. So as we leave this meeting, keep in touch. If you registered for this program, you have my number. When we are going to organize Not Too Old Conference for 2024, I want to hear your testimonies. If you have questions that we cannot take today, send me a message and schedule a meeting, maybe 15 minutes Zoom meeting. Let's talk more. Sometimes the way people's mind have been before they came here, maybe it's you want to travel, it's okay. If you want to, pick a country, travel. Oh, they didn't give me visa to US. It doesn't have to be US. Oh, they say Canada is full. It doesn't have to be. Open your mind to research. If that's what you want to do. We were flying into Nigeria, 75% to 80% of people in the plane were white people, Indians, and Asians. We were only like 25% black in a plane coming to Nigeria. Each of them came with wife, children. I'm like, what is happening? Who are these people? Where are they going? What is happening here that we are not aware of? Why are you coming with your wife, children, with plenty bags? Buki, did you see them? I was puzzled. I'm like, where are we going? Where is this plane going? Normally it's 80% Nigerians. Did you observe the same thing? We have Nigeria in America. You say you're coming to Nigeria, they're texting, be safe, stay safe. They are kidnapping people. You see Oyinbo people. What are they coming here for? Something is happening that we are all not aware yet. Something is happening. There's a turnaround going on in the nation. Because I felt it in my spirit that there is going to be this coming back. Then the rate of people leaving is going to start reducing. I felt it several months ago. How can I enter a plane, a full plane, and 75 to 80% of it are Oyinbo people? What are you coming to look for here? I thought people were leaving. I know people are leaving, but what are you looking for? Please, if anybody has the answer, send me a text. I want to know what they are looking for. Because from the airport, they just entered different car. And everybody went. If you know the project that is happening, let's start connecting ourselves. If you know them in Abuja, they are picking special advisor now. You know my name. I can even be chapel. I can handle their chaplain in Aso Rock. Maybe you will know somebody in Aso Rock. You can come. Okay. Let's have lunch.